Watching Blade and Sorcery grow has been like watching your overachieving younger brother consistently outpace your older brother who, at the ripe old age of 30, is still living at home with his parents. Now it's time for Blade and Sorcery to be fully released into the world with one final major update, the 1.0 end update. I know you're all wanting to hear what's in this one, so I'll keep my thoughts on it brief. In short, Blade and Sorcery has consistently impressed me and overachieved to the point where I gave it my Game of the Year last year, before it was even fully released. And even saying that, I was still not familiar with Warp Frog's game. This update takes this game from an insanely fun, impressive sandbox fighter to the best VR game currently out there. With all that being said, it's time to get into the update itself. There will be spoilers in this one, because the game is much more structured now and there's actually things that could be spoiled if you're planning on playing it yourself. So if you're keen on skipping certain chapters, then you can look at the ones I've laid out and skip to whatever ones interest you. Anyway, enough rambling, let's get on with the end update. Crystal Hunt is the new game mode that's been teased for a few updates now. Whilst the original game was a sort of sandbox where you basically instantly had access to godlike power and whatever weapons and armor you wanted, Crystal Hunt is a much more structured, work your way up from the bottom type game mode. You start with nothing but a dagger and you have to work your way through various dungeons, stages and arenas in an effort to hunt for loot and, more importantly, crystals. You can use these crystals to upgrade your character and sell your loot to the new Baron NPC to buy better gear. There's also a bit of story and lore finally with this game mode, but we'll get more into that in a later section. Going through dungeons is no longer a pointless murder rampage mission. We can now add robbery to the list of felonies committed by our characters. We can now collect valuables to either use ourselves or sell to the Baron. It makes travelling through these dungeons feel a lot more meaningful and definitely incentivizes exploring in a way that wasn't really there before. Speaking of selling things, the shop itself is very cool. It features Blade and Sorcery's first friendly NPC in the Baron.
Get in there, and whether by blade or sorcery,
whom I loved seeing and definitely did not stick immediately upon finding him. Also, you can buy chicken eggs now, but when I was out in a dungeon I found a nest and it didn't have eggs in it.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Blade and Sorcery now has a story, somewhat. In the Crystal Hunt game mode, there's a couple text prompts and 6 months worth of notes lying around explaining the story. If I'm selling it short, I don't mean to be. I haven't spent too much time reading the notes, but the new lore, factions and world building, it really is appreciated. This is no longer just a meaningless murder sandbox. You can really immerse yourself here, and I feel that there's so much to discover and learn about this world. Part of the new lore is different factions. Now, this is more than just names for the different armors NPCs wear. There's now different groups you can fight against who specialise in different skills. Druidic mages, barbarians, the mysterious Eye group, and many more. Part of fighting these new factions includes exploring brand new dungeons, completely new environments with different aesthetics than what we've previously seen, ready to be explored. Like I mentioned earlier, you can now upgrade your character and specialise in several different skill paths, those being lightning, fire, gravity, mind, and body. Now, given the time constraints on making this video, I didn't have enough time to do each skill path on my own, so I hired some goons to do this for me, so thanks to everyone on the screen. So I might make a separate video on all the different skills, upgrades and merges, but for this video I'll keep it fairly simple. Stage 1 of the fire path unlocks the basic fireball for you. Stage 2 unlocks remote detonation, allowing you to explode your thrown fireballs at will. This causes like an area of effect damage sort of thing. And the final stage unlocks spell merges and the explosive meteor. Stage 1 of lightning gives you your basic lightning spray, stage 2 gives you the lightning beam, and stage 3 gives you thunderbolt and tester wires. Stage 1 of gravity gives you basic push and jump abilities. Stage 2 gives you huge gravity buffs with your weapons, plus the gravity bubble we all know and kind of love. Stage 3 gives you gravity spike and even more cool buffs for imbued weapons. Mind is the path I chose to go down because I have a big cranium. Mind consists of the slow motion effect your character has. Stage 1 unlocks your basic normal slow motion. Stage 2 unlocks the brand new super powerful hyper focus. And stage 3 unlocks essentially telekinesis. I'd have thought this would be in the gravity path, but maybe I'm just stupid. Stage 1 of the body path gives you dive strike, allowing you to thrust forward or down in the air with your sword. This is great in combat, but also super useful for traversal. Stage 2 gives you second wind, meaning once per day when you die, you come back to life with increased strength and speed, essentially making you Kratos. Stage 3 lets you yeah. I know that was super quick and not very in-depth, but if you guys want a whole other video going super in-depth in all the different like paths and merges you can do with the new spells, then please let me know. Okay, if you own this game and you haven't fought the golem yet, stop watching. I'm being serious. Pause this video and go play Blade and Sorcery until you fight the golem. I mean it, you owe it to yourself to fight this thing on your own. It was one of the best VR experiences I've ever had. At the end of the new Dalgarian dungeon, you fight your way through magical gravity tunnels powered by crystals. At the end of it all, you find yourself in this massive arena with a golem in the middle. But luckily, it's dead.
Sorry, it was just a gulp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This fight is so much fun. I can't explain the scale of this thing once you put the headset on. It towers over you, screams at you, and throws fucking rocks at you. You gotta destroy the crystals, dodge attacks, finesse the golem, and steal his gem. This is the most cinematic experience I've ever had in VR, and if this was the only thing in the new update, it would still be amazing. There's not too much to say about this one. It is what it says on the tin. There's brand new weapons and armor that you can buy, and the armor system has been pretty much revamped from what I've seen. You can now choose different types of clothing based on your build to benefit you best. Armor with high defense might give you low spellcasting. You might swap out more mobility for better focus. You really do get to make your character your own. The default maps we all know and love have had little aesthetics improvements in places, but specifically Ruins has been completely revamped, which, thank God, it was very much needed. I don't know anyone who played that map. There's a new inventory system. Finally, we now have the artifact from Baldur's Gate with us. This allows us to infinitely store items we find in dungeons and check on our stats. Okay, I don't want this video to get too long. I probably will make more Blade and Sorcery videos in the future, especially doing a much deeper dive into the skills. But to quickly go through some changes that are kind of important, there's a new journal your character has, which you can read all the notes you pick up in the world. This involves like lore and stuff and random little bits. There's now more varied mages with elemental archers too, which are very fun to fight. There's a lot of new enemy voices and stuff. Home persistence is a thing now, meaning you can decorate your house how you like and it will stay that way. And one of the less flashy parts of the update, but something that's much appreciated, is just further optimization. This game runs better than it ever has, and if you've not played in the past because of poor performance, I'd highly recommend hopping on now and seeing if it's any better. And that's about it. Like I said, I'll probably make more videos in the future going further in depth in some parts of this update because there's a lot. There's a lot. But overall, I'm just going to be playing the game for the foreseeable future. It's a lot of fun, and I am so proud of my little brother Warp Frog for growing up and releasing this game. Thank you for watching, join our Discord if that's your thing, and I'll catch you later.